Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you. You too. Thank you. Yeah. Get your coffee on, yo. Get you. All right, welcome. So, I just did the rotor honing process on the rotors, and this is new to me. I've never heard of this process, but you know, I started researching because you know, at the track I was having like brake judder or pulsation or under heavy braking, and I have noticed that it only happened when it's late into the session. So the very first time it happened was at Lightning in November, and all I did was change the brake pads only, which was Duralast pads, and I used them on the OEM rotors. So I, you know, trashed the OEM rotor or OEM pads, put the Duralast pads on. That was it. Straight swap. Didn't do anything else. Drove it. Everything was fine. But when I took it to the track, that's when, you know, I started noticing the things. So I noticed this happening. So I was like, why is this happening? So that's what brought me to this process. So right now we're just going out for the initial test drive after installing. So far so good. I don't want to speak too far ahead. You know, when it comes to cars, as soon as something goes right, something will go wrong. This is a bit of the after. I just went 2 passes with my drill using the rotor hone bit. It said you don't want to exceed a certain amount of RPMs on this. I believe it's 1,000. As you can see, the tip has a bunch of little balls there, and the setting I'm using is just 1 and like an 11, so that's what I'm using. But yeah, so the purpose of doing this is because, so what happened when I first installed these rotors, I was using these Duralast pads, so I used them, and then midway through I switched over to EBC greens without you know, cleaning this or, you know, resurfacing. And so what happened was, regular braking is fine, but on the track, under hard braking, when it gets heated up, I was getting this you know, brake judder or pulsation. And this happened to me before, and it makes sense. So whenever you switch, this is new for me, but when you switch pads, when you use pads with new rotors, the pad material actually has like a mating process. So what happens, the old brake material will go on there and mate with the rotor, and it's on there so to give you that nice even coat in braking. But what I did the past 2 times, and now it makes sense, is I switched to a new pad without removing the old brake material. And I did try sandpaper on my other rotors, on the flat ones, and then for these slotted ones I'm going to use this rotor hone and just see if there's a difference. I mean, it's not really a fair comparison because these are slotted, those are flat, but I'm curious to see if sandpaper has the same results as it does if using actual rotor hone bit. But as you can see, it's got all these little fine scratches from the ball, which is pretty cool. So this is the first one I've done so far, driver's side. So this has not been touched yet. So this originally mated with the Duralast pads, and then I switched over to EBC midway, and that's what they look. So I'm going to remove this completely and sand the surface of the EBC greens, so this way the EBCs and these rotors have a good mating, I guess, ritual. All right, and that was it. I just made 2 passes with the rotor hone, and that's what it looks like. got the freshly honed rotor front and back on. The rear caliper bolts are torqued to 80. These brake caliper pins are torqued to 20. These are all good to go and tight. So this side is done. I'm going to do the other side and then take it for a drive, and hopefully next track day I won't get any brake pulsation, so that'll be the next test. Also, just a quick reminder, so for the caliper pin, sometimes it spins and you need almost like a thin size 17 mil. So I got this one. It's an ultra thin one from Capri, and it worked pretty well. So this is just really thin and lets you get a hold of that little flare nut, and you can hold it secure while you tighten the caliper bolt. And that's the caliper pin bolt, which is the one we torque to 20 foot-pounds. So get one of these if you have a Corolla hatch and you do your brakes. Get a nice thin one, because the standard one is too thick, at least the ones that I had, but get yourself an ultra thin one. This one works perfect. Finished doing the rotor honing process, so this is going to be like the first drive after doing it. So let's check everything, make sure it's tight, you know, lugs are tight, everything torqued to spec, good to go. Pump the brakes a couple times, you know, just to test it, make sure you're getting good pedal feel. And then now I just started it and I just pumped it a couple more times, so I'm about to go for a drive. I don't know what to expect. Once again, we did the honing process with the bit. I did 2 passes with the drill on each side, and then I did use an 80 grit sander and just sanded did a quick sand across the face of the pad to remove kind of like the initial glazing of the EBC green stuff. So about to go for a drive, and fingers crossed that it still stops at least. So far so good. I don't hear any squealing at all, and I plan on just driving it like normal and resetting the bedding process. The initial bedding process for EBC greens are driving 200 miles just normal. After 200 miles, their bedding process is doing a 60, I believe it's a 60 to 20. It's not a slamming on your brake stop, it's more of just medium pressure. So you know, 60 to 20, 60 to 20. I'll just stick 60 to 20 5 times in a row. After that, the brakes will feel a little soft. Mine did. At that point, that's fine. Just drive about another mile or so, let the brakes cool off, and then the bedding process is complete. Aside from EBC's standard, I did speak to an instructor at NASA Northeast, and he actually told me a different bedding process, which was to drive 60 to 20 hard, like really hard braking. So 60 to 20, and right after 70 to 20, and then right after 80 to 20, slamming. So I did both, and it was definitely sketchy and scary doing the you know, doing out the 70, 80s, but just make sure you find a road that's, you know, just no houses around, it's just, you know, forest or whatever, and just be careful doing that process. But I realized when I did both of those processes, I'm doing this, you know, with rotors that already have been, I guess you want to say, mated already. So ideally what this process is doing is, you you know, removing the old material, and you're mating a new coat or new glaze or pad material. Think of it as like new paint on a car. Change, if you're doing a color change, you have to remove everything down completely for a fresh base. Then you can put on your base coat, clear coat, whatever. It's the same thing with the brake process. When you're changing your pads, I would now that I know, I would recommend using a rotor hone. And this is, you can do it as a hobby, or you know, because during regular driving, your brakes aren't going to get heated enough to where you feel the pulsation. Because like I said, this only happens during heavy braking and when the brakes are heated up. So if you are you know, driving normal, you're probably not gonna have this issue. Now, if you do start having an issue normal driving, then more than likely your rotors are getting warped, because that's what a lot of my friends are telling me at the track. Warp rotors. You need new rotors. And I was like, well, these rotors are brand new, so it doesn't make sense. But now, after learning this, it makes sense. So I'm back home. That was just a quick test drive. But yeah, so far so good. So I will definitely update. Then hopefully, if I do sign up for the track in May, I would like to test it out. More than likely, I won't be. I just want to, because you know, John and I were going back, and I just want to hang out for a day probably. So we'll see. It could go either way. Anyways, that's it for this. And move on to the next part.